Quite simply, programmatic is a really effective way to drive business outcomes because you can evaluate the media on a per opportunity basis. You can curate the inventory in a really intelligent way. You can deliver creative with a lot of data to inform that message. But most importantly is you can optimize based on the performance data that you're capturing in real time. And when we look at the CTV landscape, we talk about it as having disrupted linear TV. But in reality, it's a disruption in progress. And for our content owners and for agencies and brands, they need to learn how to navigate both worlds simultaneously. And as the supply continues to grow in streaming and as more viewers spend time consuming television through streaming services, not only is it a performance channel, but it's a necessity in order to find and reach your audiences effectively. So to understand what's happening in the upfronts this year, I think it's important to look at what's happened in the supply landscape over the last just 24 months. So just 24 months ago, 2 years, 70% of the viewership time was spent on just 5 streaming services. And at the time, only 2 of those actually had ad-supported tiers. If you fast forward to today, the top 10 streaming services make up nearly 70% of all viewing hours, and all of them have ad-supported tiers. And so I think programmatic is going to play a really critical role in helping marketers navigate and find the audiences in a really efficient and effective way. I argue there's no better time to be working in creative advertising than right now. We've long known TV has been a performance channel. Now that it's inherently in a digital ecosystem, we have a much more granular understanding of what that performance is and what's driving that performance. And it also creates all of this new opportunity to optimize what the creative experience is for the viewer. So the average amount of ad load on traditional linear broadcast was around 15 minutes per hour. In streaming, it's closer to 8 minutes per hour. So the amount of ad load has actually been reduced, and yet the viewership is continuing to increase. And so for brands and content owners to find opportunities for them to engage with viewers creates a whole host of new opportunities. Everything from the navigation guide all the way to the content itself. And so creative technology is playing a really interesting role in a few different ways. In one, it is optimizing the way that the ad pod is constructed altogether. The industry has worked really hard on OpenRTB 2.6, which will allow for more intelligent targeting and packaging of those specific ad pods where the commercial breaks run, but also entirely new formats altogether. And so we can now use technology to run brand messages directly within the content. We can use it to power really interesting navigation opportunities on the channel guide, or we can meet the viewers in where their behavior is happening, whether that be a pause or whether that be through channel surfing. So it's a really exciting time to be able to understand what's driving performance and use creative to really rapidly help optimize that campaign. So the question we were asking ourselves was, how do you create maximum attention for a brand in a streaming environment? We're all familiar with the viewing experience where you're watching shows and then it breaks away to a 2 or 3 minute commercial break. So how do you stand out in that environment? And we thought, well, what does it look like when you break outside the ad pod altogether? And so we were really excited to partner with the Reese's team during a recent Easter campaign to try to maximize awareness, but also purchase intent. And so the experience that we helped Reese's create in a programmatic environment was, if you're watching a cooking show or a contextually relevant moment within a show that had to do with cooking, we could squeeze back the original show and give 75% of the real estate to a brand message delivered by Reese's. And all of this was able to be transacted on a programmatic basis, which allowed for targeting as well as measurement. And the measurement came back really positive. We found a 43% increase in purchase intent. And from an offline study with a survey, we found that 88% of the viewers had a more positive reflection of Reese's as a brand.